As we continue our series on the pros and cons of different areas in Fairfax County, today we're going to take a look at Centerville. So if you're thinking about moving to Centerville, before you make any decisions, you'll want to know the best and worst parts of living there. In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest pros and cons so you know exactly what to expect before making a move. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Crystal Walker with Ask A Walker, and you're watching Where to Live in Northern Virginia, where we give you the inside scoop on everything there is to know about the area. Now, if you want even more info, or if you're ready to take the next step in your home buying journey, click the link in the description to schedule your perfect home consultation. We'll meet virtually to hash out your priorities, answer any remaining questions you may have, and create a solid plan for finding your next home. So let's dive into the good, the bad, and the in-between when it comes to Centerville. Let's start with the pros because there's lots to love about the area. If schools are at the top of your priority list, then you're in the right place. Centerville is part of the Fairfax County public school system, which is one of the largest and most well-respected school districts in the country. The school system consistently ranks among the best, not just in Virginia, but also nationally. Centerville High and Westfield High have strong academics, sports, and high graduation rates, but their online ratings can be a little bit misleading since they factor in ESL student test scores, which can oftentimes be lower than those of English speakers. But for middle-class families, the actual experience is much better than the numbers might suggest. And it's not just the high schools. The elementary and middle schools feeding into them are also going to be pretty solid. Strong school districts help protect your home value. So even if school ratings aren't a top priority for you, they may matter when it's time to sell. So bottom line, whether you have kids or not, do your homework. You're going to get more for your money compared to living in the city or even closer to DC. Your money's going to stretch a whole lot further here. So you get larger yards, more square footage, maybe even a rec room or an extra bedroom on that lower level. Fairfax County as a whole isn't what anyone would call cheap, but your dollar's going to stretch further here in Centerville compared to many other areas closer to the city. The median sales price in Centerville last year was about $615,000. Now at that price point, you're primarily going to find townhouses, but they're spacious nonetheless. You're looking at a 3-level townhouse with 3 to 4 bedrooms and a family room on the basement level, and more than likely an attached garage. Now, you can also come by a few detached homes at this price point, typically 1 to 2 level homes that are probably going to be just a little bit older than those townhouses that are available at that same price point. And so when I say a little older, I think something probably built in like the late 70s to 80s. Our next pro is going to be about Centerville's location. It's about 20 miles outside of DC, sitting right off of Route 66, which is one of the main arteries into the city. Now, that means you're going to be close enough to enjoy everything DC has to offer. That's going to be sports, nightlife, museums, shopping, without actually being in the middle of the mix. But the real magic of Centerville is that it's not just close to the city, it's also close to the countryside. In just 30 to 45 minutes, you can drive to Shenandoah National Park, Skyline Drive, lots of different wineries, hiking trails, and Virginia's famous horse country. So whether you want the energy of the city or the peace and quiet of the mountains, Centerville lets you kind of have a little bit of both. Our next pro is the area's convenience because everything you need is right there. If you like to have shopping, dining, and entertainment nearby, I think you'll like Centerville. If you need groceries, there's Wegmans, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and all the other standard stores nearby. If you want to grab dinner out, you've got Korean barbecue, sushi, steakhouses, and local favorites like Chow Osteria and Sweetwater Tavern that are right in Centerville. And if you want even more options, there's Fair Oaks Mall, Tyson's Corner, and the Mosaic District, which are all within a short drive. So you never have to go too far from Centerville to find exactly what you're looking for. The atmosphere in Centerville is going to be pretty community and family oriented. There are lots of parks, playgrounds, community centers, sports leagues, and tons of local events throughout the year. Niche.com actually rated it as one of the top suburbs in Virginia to raise a family. People move here because there's a low crime rate, it's pretty convenient, and there's a strong sense of community. So if you're looking for a place where neighbors know each other, kids ride their bikes outside, and there's always something going on, then Centerville checks all those boxes. All right, now let's talk about the cons because no place is perfect. We have to start with the cost of living. Yeah, Centerville is gonna be more affordable than say Arlington or DC, but let's be real, it's still pretty expensive. We already covered that the median sales price here is gonna be around $615,000, but there's still more costs to consider. For starters, we have the real estate taxes. If you're buying at the $615,000 price point, you can expect to pay somewhere between, let's say, $5,000 and $7,000 a year in property taxes. Then when you add on the monthly HOA fees for most homes in Fairfax County, which will probably be another $100 or so a month. And if you didn't know, Virginia does have a personal property tax for all vehicles. So depending on the age of your car and value, that could add anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,000 per year, especially if you have multiple cars or a newer vehicle. Beyond housing costs, some everyday expenses are also on the higher side, especially for things like home maintenance and childcare. Honestly, when my family first relocated here almost 12 years ago, I think the cost of childcare was the biggest surprise after housing. We easily paid more than twice as much as we would have paid back home in New Orleans. Our next con has to do with something that's just the way of life when you live in Fairfax County, and that's going to be traffic. If you're commuting into DC, be ready because Route 66 gets packed. At peak rush hour, which should be a 30-minute drive, can easily hit an hour. Now, express lanes help, but they cost. Some drivers pay upwards of $15 or more per trip to skip the worst of it. Even if you're not commuting into DC, local traffic can still be a headache. Sully Road and Lee Highway get backed up, and finding shortcuts is not always easy. This might not be a deal breaker if you work remotely or if you have a flexible schedule, but if you're driving in every day, just be prepared to spend some quality time in your car. And then we have the fact that there's no metro in Centerville. So if you're hoping to walk to a metro station in Centerville, that just isn't going to be possible. The closest metro station is going to be at Vienna Fairfax GMU, and you're going to need to drive or take a bus to get there. On a good day, if you live close enough, then that might be a 15-minute drive, but it could easily be more. So if you don't want to rely on a car, you might want to look in other areas with direct metro access. And finally, we'll talk about the housing market, which is incredibly competitive and fast-paced. While Centerville's home prices are more affordable than areas to the east that are closer to DC, it's still a really competitive market. Homes here move fast, and bidding wars are not uncommon, especially for well-priced single-family homes. So if you're buying, be prepared to act quickly and have your finances in order. So is Centerville right for you? Well, if you want highly rated schools, more house for your money, and a mix of city access and countryside escapes, then Centerville is worth checking out. But if you're worried about the traffic and a lack of metro access, then you might want to consider other Northern Virginia suburbs that better fit your lifestyle. At the end of the day, it all really just depends on what you're looking for. If Centerville sounds like it could be the right fit for you, let's talk. Click the link in the description to schedule your perfect home consultation. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow for more updates on where to live in Northern Virginia. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.